better? Okay, welcome to the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. I'm your host, Alewolf. Good evening and welcome to Thursday night. Happy to see you back here. Indeed, it is Hades Thursday. We're back in the modern speakeasy block, and we are back in the world of Hades, I believe, with exit attempt number 79. Hopefully you joined me earlier today. I was actually playing some Monster Hunter Rise. A couple of friends of the stream dropped by, met a couple new people. It was a fun time. So if you were not able to catch it, I suggest you catch that. But if not, that's not your sort of thing. If you're here simply for the persistent campaigns, then you found your place. We've been playing Hades on stream since the stream started. A lot of you who have been here from the beginning might remember, what do you call that? The Chrome and Leather era of the Ales and Fails Twitch stream, where I hate to have to find a true word to describe what it was like, but if you ever catch my YouTube channel and you see what those old videos were like, I fear that the word cringeworthy is at a loss for what those streams were. So please don't look at them. But yeah, we've been playing Hades from the beginning. We haven't beat it yet, and you know what? It's too much fun. It's not something that I believe I'll ever get tired of. One day I'll get out of Hades, and maybe one day I'll go to 100% completion. Who knows? I might die before that happens. Anything is possible, right? Miracles do happen. But I've been having a blast. Long-time fans of the stream will also remember that I largely specialize using the Shield of Chaos. And I specifically like to use the aspect of chaos in order to actually beat it. And the reason for that is I was simply trying to look for a way to synergize, maybe focus my efforts, my learning efforts, and I think I've done just that. The other thing about this stream is simply the fact that every single time I see Dionysus, because this is a stream where I drink, I'm gonna take his path. So there you go, that's kind of the gist of it. Before we move any further, let's go ahead and see what's untapped. So tonight we've got a classic. This is a Duvel. This is a Belgian strong blonde. So Duvel is actually one of the iconic breweries of Belgium, and it is a Belgian strong blonde. I guess there's a few things to parse out there. Obviously, a blonde ale is an ale made with barley that boils, ferments in a blonde manner. They're generally light, slightly more crisper, lighter in body, less from the sweeter flavors and slightly more of that grainy type of sit. I hate to say grainy, that's probably a very poor description. More like a in steely fashion is what blonde ales kind of taste like. And of course, they generally get accentuated by the hops. You can't judge a blonde ale without the flavor of the hops. Now, in terms of Belgium, that's got a lot of history to it. You could name any country other than Belgium and maybe Germany and suggest, oh, hey, that simply means that that's where it came from. When you're talking about the Belgian tradition, you're talking about adding a lot of different spices to the brew, which makes them very iconic. Things like coriander, cardamom, to name a few. They generally add a good amount of spices into their beers. They were the original wild boys of beer making before America came into the picture. So let's go ahead and check out what Untapped has to say on the matter. I believe this is probably the first time that I've actually had Duvel on stream, and yeah, that's actually right according to this read right here. So, an 8.5% alcohol by volume, Duvel is a natural beer with a subtle bitterness, a refined flavor, and a distinctive hop character. The unique brewing process, which takes about 90 days, that's long, guarantees a pure character, delicate effervescence, and a pleasant sweet taste of alcohol. Apart from pure spring water, which is the main ingredient of beer, barley is the most important raw material. That's interesting that you would call water the most important material. But I guess it is the element which brings life according to Gitana. Barley must germinate for 5 days in the malt house, after which malt remains. The color of the malt and, as a consequence, also of the beer is determined by the temperature. Duvel obtains its typical bitterness by adding various varieties of aromatics, Slovenian and Czech hops. We use only exclusive hops that are renowned for their constant outstanding quality. And like I said, lighter ales are definitely far better known for their hop flavors. Duvel ferments for the first time in tanks at 20 to 26 degrees Celsius. The brewery uses own culture for this. The original yeast strain, which Victor Murtgat himself selected in the 1920s, originates from Scotland. After maturing in storage tanks in which the beer is cooled down to minus 2 degrees Celsius, the drink is ready for bottling. Thanks to the addition of extra sugars and yeast, the beer ferments again in the bottle. This occurs in warm cellars and takes 2 weeks. Then the beer is moved to cold cellars, where it continues to mature and stabilize for further 6 weeks. This extra long maturation period is unique and contributes to the refined flavor and pure taste of Duvel. So that's one of the longest entries on Untappd that I've ever read. One of the interesting things there is simply the fact that it would seem to me that if we are to believe this description, Duvel is actually bottle carbonated. So there's actually 2 processes by which you perform carbonation, and I'm speaking because I'm a very amateur brewer here. You can bottle carbonate, in which you actually take your your fermented ale, you put it into a bottle, you add just a bit of corn sugar, you seal it up with a bottle cap, and you let it rest there for a while, and what will happen is that the yeast that is still alive inside the bottle will actually take that sugar and create CO2. The other more conventional way for breweries to actually take on this process is they will put it in a steel tank or a steel keg, and they will force carbonate it using CO2 gas, which is what most conventional brewers do. So if we're to believe that entry, it suggests that every single bottle of Duvel is actually bottle fermented, which, props to them, that not a lot of brewers do that. Let's go ahead and taste what this guy is like and see what we actually sense. And open this right here. Use our old Untappd Stein. And yes, this is definitely a golden ale. It's got a pretty high alcoholic content for a blonde ale, I'll say, but that's not atypical for Belgian style beers. The other thing about Belgian style beers, and this is something that my SO constantly harps on me about, it's just the fact that I describe them as fiery. They've got that spice kick, and if you heard me saying anything earlier, they've got additional spices, which makes them very iconic of Belgian beers. Belgian beers are specific because they've got the spices and they've got Belgian yeast, which gives them their own iconic character. Let's go ahead and taste this. I've been talking too much. Fang and Ale reviewer. And so it's definitely got some of that spice character. I would say that the thing that sticks out the most is it's a noble hop flavor. It's actually quite strong. If you've ever had a Czech Pilsner, you recognize the hops immediately from this. Very, not earthen, but like a refined metal almost. This is definitely a light and crisp beer. And it's not completely translucent, but it's definitely getting there. Yeah, just refreshing, just very light. Definitely a 1 in terms of a body, a 1 to 5. And since I was asked to talk about this in terms of mouthfeel, I definitely feel like it dances. And that's not uniconic of Belgian beers. I definitely feel like they dance, in the sense that you taste it in one part of your tongue, and then you taste it in the other. Generally at the tip, and generally at the medium part. Yeah, so it kind of like jumps, it kind of like dances. I like that. And yeah, definitely some lingering bittering finish at the end. But yeah, Duvel, I guess, prides itself in terms of hops. So that's enough of me talking about beer. I'm gonna go ahead and get started on Hades. I'm going to update my ticker, enter my untapped entry, and I'll see you on the other side of this break. And once I can... Oh, there he goes. I will be right back. Okay, and we are back. Ticker is updated. We are drinking a Duvel, and our desktop audio is exactly where it needs to be. Let's get a move on. And one of the things that I realized last time I was playing this, unfortunately for everyone, is simply the fact that I don't have to end the run by killing myself. Imagine that. 70, 80, 80 or so runs, and I figure out, by the way, you don't have to end the game by finishing a run. You don't have to actually kill yourself, which is something that I had been doing for a long time. Every time, as I said, this is a persistent campaign, and so my thing was I have to capture every single moment of this run on stream. And so, because sometimes I would feel really sleepy and simply need to go to sleep, I would say, you know what, I'm just gonna kill myself. But lo and behold, you don't actually have to do that. You can just save mid-run, and it is unfortunate that I only discovered that recently. But you know what? We learn something every day. And I don't even know what boons I have right now. Let's check it out. It's probably gonna be a suboptimal situation simply because I think last time I was playing, I was thinking I'm not even gonna finish this run, and so I picked just things that seem to strike my fancy. So your attack is stronger, with 15% chance to deal critical damage. That's good. Always go with Artemis when in doubt. I have Lamia. This is a passive, 15% more chance to drop heart items. The aspect of chaos, of course, which means that my special will throw multiple shields if I bull rush. My dash strike is 46% more damage. Tidal dash. Your dash damages foes in an area and knocks them away, which is quite useful if you're working through traps. Ares is 8, so we turn into the Beyblade of Doom if we call on Ares. Snowy Burst. Whenever you cast, damage foes around you and inflict chill. So longtime fans of the stream will actually remember that I don't actually ever use cast, or I actually do very rarely. So I must have taken this simply because I wanted to complete a codex entry. What else do I have here? Heart of Stone. You believe in Boldy, and Boldy believes in you. Oh, nice. So we started interacting with Boldy last stream, and that has given us a 6% movement speed bonus. We've got the Skull Earring, which I believe is from Scully. Deal 30% damage while at 35% of less. I want to believe that that's from Scully, but I don't actually quite recall that. I think he gave us something. I think he gave us his tooth, actually. The Minotaur Rush. What did I say it that way? Minotaur Rush? That's unusual. So your Bull Rush gains a Power Rush that deals 500% more damage. So Bull Rush is definitely stronger. And then, of course, my special is faster. So, trying to remember how to play this thing. We've got a few more shields on us. And let's go ahead and drink up. Beautiful.
Should I change things up?
And actually, the Skull Earring is from Megara. Only 32 more encounters to rank this up, so we're gonna keep wearing it. I like it. I like Megara. She is A-okay in my book. Actually, one thing that I totally forgot to mention is just the fact that if anybody remembers me ranting earlier today, I installed a neon light behind me, and there it is. I am indeed a true gamer, folks. Look at that. That's beautiful, isn't it? I mean, I like it. Kind of tacky, but you know what? I needed a neon light in here. There might be a few more in the coming days. Depends on how handy I feel, but yeah, it provides the necessary light that I need. I think it's as much as light as I probably need for an evening like this. Okay, I'm not gonna get anything from the Well of Charon. Can I sell? Honestly, the only thing that I would have been interested in selling is the cast. Yeah, let's go ahead and move on.
Going up.
Moving on up, as they say.
Getting warmer.
Okay, and so things are heating up, as they say. And the next up is the Palm of Power. And back in the day, I used to think that the Palm of Power was actually a pizza. And Those closest to me know that I love pizza.
Surprise.
Come on. Oh, I gotta stay away from the fire. Where are you?
So
Okay.
much for them.
Feel like I could have done a lot better with that one.
Power of Olympus.
15% chance to deal critical damage. Either that or the tidal dash. Definitely not investing anymore on the snowburst. Let's go with the tidal dash for now.
Zesty.
And it's a friend of the stream, and I go, "What's up, homie? Just stopped by to say hey. Hey, good to see you." And I go, a good Thursday night to you too. How have you been? Thanks for dropping by. Certainly don't feel the need to stick around if you have to go. Always cool to hear from you. Hopefully life is going well. Sometimes that's all we can wish for. Alright. And we got some mad bombers. Jeez, did everyone decide to kill themselves at the same time? I've got traps on me, I think. No, Hydra heads. Now. What? Seriously? That was less than 5 seconds. Sorry. That was way too short. Alright, we're at 150, which is generally what I want to be at in order to progress, I feel. 150 is kind of like a comfortable zone. Okay. Alright, and we've got either Charon or Darkness. Given the amount of coin that we have, I don't know that it's worthwhile to visit Charon. Karen. Every time I say Charon, I feel weird, but then every time I say Karen, I feel like I'm just saying Karen. So it's a no-win situation. Nobody wins. Do I want to face a boss? Let's face a boss.
Next island.
And actually, before we move on, the most important drink of the evening, some pure dihydrogen monoxide. Drink responsibly, but drink water frequently. I just love the number of shields that we can throw. I honestly thought we were gonna face a boss, but I guess it just means that we're facing enemies that are stronger than usual. Beyblade of Doom. Come on, guys, come on. You know I don't dance that way. Okay. And we got some more darkness. and it's either Artemis or Poseidon, and these are the two main deities that are blessing us tonight. Haven't encountered Dionysus yet. Let's go with Artemis, simply because Artemis, if anything, at the very least, we shall woo her. Oh no, it's the witches.
Circle. I'm empty.
Oh, get out of the poop, boy. I feel like my call is way too weak. And there goes my health. Where are you? Seriously, guy? How? That is sad. That is sad, folks. Okay.
You're pretty close with Ares, aren't you? And here they said it couldn't be done. If I were you, I'd watch myself with him.
Yeah, I think I keep it on arm's length, but, ooh, what is this? Your cast fires a second projectile, which deals reduced base damage. That's unusual, but it is a fated choice. How many times will we actually get to choose this? Okay, so essentially 2 casts and one of them is slightly weaker than the other.
Duo power.
That's interesting. Okay. I will take it, and I will have to start using cast more often, I guess. And somehow I've gotta get some help around here. Always check the room for jars. A friend of the stream once told me that. Okay, and I guess it's only gems available for us. Oh, come on, where are you? Seriously, where is this? Am I missing something totally obvious here? Where is... Jeez, look at that.
Think so.
Not even in a boss room. We're in a very sad state of affairs, folks. That's okay. Also fulfill some fated choices, no doubt.
What do we have here?
Gem. Gem is my name. And there's a fishing spot. Let's see how well we do today.
Fishing time then. Bite this.
Nice, and we caught a Slavog. And longtime viewers of my Hades streams will know that it is incredibly rare for me to actually catch the fish. It's like a 10% success ratio. You could say that I've gotten ratioed in terms of fishing. Let's go ahead and get some more keys. Keys are generally more valuable. Generally. the room before the room. But this
Press it.
place is different. Huh.
Crisp.
Ah, I could have used you 2 rooms ago. And so it's nothing more than the way to Charon, I guess. Let's do this. Now this is the room before the room. I kinda don't feel like I've gotten enough boons from Hydra. Buy a power-up. This is just a random thing from the bag, I believe. And of course, these are burgers and fries. It's actually a gyro. Gyro? Is that how that's pronounced? I could get both of these. Let's see what's up. Thank you, Uncle. So, your boons will knock away effects, also rupture foes. And rupture, of course, is for 3 seconds, victims take damage while moving. This might be useful simply because I've already got the title dash. Okay, slamming foes into barriers creates a watery blast in the area. That seems a little situational. Let's go with Razor Schultz. And then let's go with this.
Tart and tasty.
Ares' aid level 1, or at least 1 more level. And next up is the Bone Hydra, which we've defeated several times, but it still remains a very challenging foe, I want to say. It used to be the bane of my existence before Theseus took that spot. Let's go get that Boney. I feel like we've taken a very short number of rooms towards the Bone Hydra.
Learny, I like that.
Okay, and there he goes. Nice, one's down. Down he goes. How dare you? Okay, some more. It was waiting for me. I gotta tell you, this Ares' aid is not really doing too much for me. Two down. Three down. Can we actually make it in 25? Oh, come on!
Oh, that hurt.
The sadness of the Ills and Fails Twitch stream. And yet, because you have seen it so many times, it's almost comforting. Comforting like the lull of the night upon the last day of the week. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, so let's see here. Just a second. No dots of history. Let's replenish our energy. Could have been so much more useful if we still had one more Death Defiance. Can we sell anything? At this point, there's no point in selling this. I actually don't know that there's too many instances where selling something will actually mean anything unless there's something I really want to shop for. Excuse me. And so, Slame Phones have a 15% chance to drop hard items. That could be useful, I guess, but not right now. You deal 50% more damage striking undamaged foes. That's nice, but it's okay. The next boon you find has upgraded rarity. I don't even have enough coin for any of this stuff. I think we'll pass. We will pass. Let's get out of here. Let's keep climbing up the Donkey Kong Country Mountain. And welcome, friend of the stream, Namji. How are you doing this evening? Thank you for joining us this evening. For as long as you might. For as short as you might. I feel like the Well of Charon I tend to not use unless I'm loaded in cash. Yeah, I agree. A lot of the things that they sell is quite fleeting. And it's not really until the later levels that I find that useful things are in sale. So I generally tend to save up, unless I'm having a horrid run. Just finished on Final Fantasy XIV rating. Well, I hope it went well. I know that you're in it for the long haul, and a lot of the time it's just training. But anything of interest you might share with the stream, with the Ails and Fails universe, as they say. They did solo for the first few fights. Nice, nice. Well, I don't doubt a warrior of your prowess can actually manage to do the whole thing on your own. If you were to tell me, by the way, I did all these dungeons by myself, I'd be like, yep, that sounds like Namji. Alright, gotta get rid of some of these archers. The bane of my existence in Elysium is archers. And of course, the archer traps. Okay, one more. There's an archer somewhere else. Come on.
That's something.
And they break. Got a personal best on one of my fights, so I'm happy with that, and I am happy for you. That sounds awesome. You're so much better at charging your shield than I ever was. So the thing that I like to say whenever I start one of these streams is the fact that I think probably it was like at run 2020 or something that I decided to focus fire on the Shield of Chaos. So for better or for worse, I've kind of focus fired, and so I kind of know the timings with the shield. I will say though, I am in no way an expert. I just know a couple more things than most shield users, but I appreciate the nod there. Certainly well taken. And here's our friend Hermes. Hi. I am drawn by the purples. Purples always call to me. Maybe that's just a World of Warcraft thing, but it's not isolated to World of Warcraft. Press B to rush forward. So after you dash, you briefly become sturdy and move 100% faster. That always sounds pretty good. And I rarely use cast, so forget that. God Gauge charges up automatically. I think let's go with tried and true sturdy. I would agree with the epic here. Yeah, thank you for confirming the choice there. I almost feel like a lot of the times there's very few instances where you will choose a boon of lesser rarity, and I hate to be simple here. I honestly think that maybe in my 70 or so runs, there's only been like 1 or 2 times, and it's generally been cosmetic. So it's either Artemis, which is generally good, or the Hammer of Daedalus. This run is already cursed. I'm already at my last life, so I think I'm gonna go spicy and go with the Hammer of Daedalus. Or Daedalus's Hammer. One of those. And let's check out what's over here. Ah, witches. I hate these. The baby chariots are the worst. And who else? Ah, I walked right into that one. What am I doing with my life? Nice, and I actually defeated that guy by just rushing into them. This stage specifically, if I don't deflect, I hate these things. They never get better. No, I totally empathize with that feeling. Elysium just happens to be one of my favorite places where I whiff and die out. I feel like from Tartarus to Elysium, there is a very big jump in terms of armor, and the enemies that I could wipe very simply, or similar enemy types, just take so many more hits in Elysium. It's kind of crazy. Ferocious Guard. After blocking a foe, gain 20% damage and move speed for 10%. For 10 seconds. That looks good. Bolt Rush deals 400% more damage to armor. That one's always solid. It's also difficult for me to determine which enemies have armor though. I guess the ones that kind of clink when you hit them. And during your dash, your special is faster and deals 200% more damage. That one's pretty solid. I don't know that I disagree with any of these. Well, let's drink to this. Let's go to stronger bull rushes. At the very least, it'll force me to guard and rush a bit more often. And either the Palm of Power or a fight between Artemis and Demeter. And I think we'll go for the fight simply because I'm in the mood to woo Artemis. But before that, let's go ahead and see if there's any vases that contain anything useful. I love a good fight, but not when I'm in the middle.
One of them's not going to like this.
And clearly, the thing here is just that Demeter is actually quite deadly whenever I antagonize her. But like I said, this is kind of a cursed run. Let's go ahead and make things troublesome for us.
You chose correctly, Zagreus.
Ooh, true shot. Oh, it's a cast. You know I don't like casts. Clean kill. Your critical effects deal even more damage. That might be useful. And after you cast, okay. 2 cast-based boons. I'm gonna go with the one that's not cast. So this is one of the few times where I won't choose the actual higher rarity skill, unless it was like a codex entry or like a fated choice. Alright, here we go. Is this the end of this run?
Decision,
Maybe.
Zagreus. It is about to be a very cold day down there in your underworld.
Oh no, but I respect you.
Have mercy, Doctor. Now she's angry.
Sometimes I hold down my shield and I feel like it doesn't register. It's quite frustrating. What is happening? Oh gosh. I was standing in the middle of a whirlwind. Chaos, save me. Get out of the whirlwind. Is it regenerating? Has it regenerated? Of course it has. Okay. And when the skull earring activates, it simply means that I am not doing my job properly. The meter.
Oh, this is it.
You are the best. Here we go. Beyblade of Doom. Oh jeez, it revived. Well, that was as they say, a Pyrrhic victory. Are we friends now?
It ultimately isn't my intent to leave you in the cold like this, young Zagreus.
Yeah, Elysium's health bars go way up for some reason. I think it's kind of a way to just like filter you out, honestly, at that point. I like the fact, I honestly like the backgrounds. It's actually quite soothing, and it's got like this forest kind of place, kind of like a Lost Woods sort of feeling. But then just the enemies are so darn harder. Alright, let's see what's good. At this point, given that I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna make it past Theseus, it might be smart to do a fated choice to fill out that codex. When you have no cast, take 10% less damage and deal more. Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
Shivering.
No, I honestly like the meter. It is unfortunate that the only... I think she's only supposed to show up once you've actually reached the 4th map, and so for the longest time I actually didn't know her.
Something I can use.
She's kind of like the matron of all the other Olympian gods. Light of Ixion. Gain 25% hearts. I think I'll save it. Chaos Gate will spawn ahead. By the way, I don't know if you meant it, but yes, the meter is cool. Now that's a fun pun. I like how when I'm on stream, I only get things like 5 minutes later. It's just that part of the brain is not working, you know. Alright, so either coin or Charon, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's go for coin. It wasn't on purpose.
Bright swords.
Fighting between traps is always a dangerous gambit.
Rearming.
Gotta get away from these guys' combos. I feel like once you're looped into them, you can't actually escape very easily. But I guess such is the nature of combos. Ah, it's the baby chariots. Another around.
Recovered. What do we have here?
Okay, and stolen right from the brink of death.
Shiny. Got to keep pushing.
Alright, so unless we meet Patroclus in the next room, I think that's the end for us. But you know, stranger things have happened. Like Stranger Things Season 4. Alright, let's go ahead and move on. Don't know if you use it already, but I always like using the mirror buff that heals when you gather darkness. You know what? That doesn't sound familiar. That actually sounds very useful though. No, wait a second. No, I think I do have that. I'll have to check back when I jump back into my room, which will probably be in less than 5 minutes. But yes, that actually sounds delightful at this time. I don't want to go into a boss room, or maybe I do. Die in a blaze of glory. Butterflies.
It's the butterfly ball.
The butterfly effect. Nice. Got them. Yeah, high risk, high reward. Like I said, this run was essentially cursed from the beginning. I actually followed it up from 2 weeks ago, so I actually wasn't very familiar with the boons that I already had on hand. But yeah, I'm just making excuses here. Because this is the Ails and Fails Twitch stream, and the only thing we do better than failing is making excuses. Cheers to you. And what time do we have here? It's only 12:30. Sad. All good. Go next. Hey, excellent. You've got that Steam Deck. I know that you were in a sort of semi-deadline in order to get it. I'm hoping that you were running it already updated and things of that sort. Oh, playing it semi-non-stop. What have you been playing it on it?
So, you lost a duel to the death with an exalted brightsword, did you? They're pretty much the best of the best, so don't feel bad. It had to happen. But if it's any consolation, it'll probably happen again.
Oh, Hypnos.
Probably.
Yeah, downloaded a good amount of games. Cult of the Lamb. Super recommended, by the way. Actually, I've seen it, other streamers play it, and it looks like a lot of fun. When I first saw it, I was just like, this looks like a mobile game or something. But it seems like a pretty deep game in terms of mechanics. And I think that the way that they were playing it, people watching the stream could actually interact with the cult. Like, they could actually become cultists. Anyways, that's a side note. It looked actually pretty rad. I like the style of the graphics on it.
I'm truly sorry that he's troubled you again, Cerberus. I know how much you value resting here, and yet I have no better means to bar the entry to our realm than you.
I thought you'd figured out by now that guilting me into abandoning my quest won't work. You're the one who should feel guilty forcing Cerberus to block my path.
What would you know of it? Cerberus cannot be forced to do anything. He simply understands he has responsibilities.
Cerberus is just a good boy. That's all he is.
And there it is again.
Since you like Hades, it's similar except with cult and town buildings. Yeah, I don't disagree that I would give it a whirl. It's one of those things where I just haven't how to say, not only is my answer I don't have time, which I'm sure I've told you this so many times, but it's also the sort of thing that I've got this bias on me. And it's because I'm an old school gamer. It's always just a little bit difficult for me to make a jump into an indie game. And it's a terrible bias, something that I have to live with. It's a curse, as they say. But it did look very good. And stranger things have happened, and I am playing Hades, which is, in all its right, an indie game. All good.
The much-feared Cerberus licks endlessly at something on the floor.
Always the understanding friend, Namji.
Well, see you around.
Thanatos is not here. Neither is Achilles. That's unfortunate. It's a blessing and a curse that there are so many good games. You know, I was just thinking the other day, as I was watching like a standard, my standard playlist of YouTube videos, that not only, and simply because I watch videos from a lot of YouTube game reviewers, but also YouTube anime reviewers, some of which you've recommended before. But there's just so much good media out there, and of course games and anime being two things that I favor. There's just way too much good to consume.
What's that you have there, Shade? That looks like contraband to me.
I actually heard that you watched the new Trigun recently. I am jealous. I am formally jealous.
It is, mistress. I'm glad you're here, as maybe you can help me quickly to dispose of it.
Let us immediately do so then, before concerns arise around the presence of this stuff within
It's
the house.
good. Sad but good. Actually, did you watch the original Trigun? I'm quite curious. Because our friend only saw the new one, and we were comparing notes.
Huh.
And here's our friend Dusa.
Prince, the way you look so sad sometimes when you come back in here out of the pool of sticks. Is everything okay? Because if there was something I could do...
Oh, it's nothing for you to be concerned about, Dusa. I'm just having a harder time fighting my blasted way out of this place than I anticipated. If you'll excuse my language.
Oh, hey, this is silly, but I had no idea anybody could be you. I mean, the prince? Greater than the mighty Achilles, more cunning than his father, faster than Hermes. But you're just struggling, like me.
We all struggle in our day-to-day.
I am. And that stuff you heard about me isn't true.
Oh.
Just a few episodes here and there from the original. It came out like in '98, I think. Yeah, I probably saw it in '98. No, I probably didn't see it in '98, but I did see the old one. It's probably one of my favorite anime of that time.
Something smells good.
I don't know why I said animes. And it's funny because when a lot of people talk about space westerns, obviously the name Cowboy Bebop comes up. And I'm always like, but Trigun. And it's simply because I kind of just empathize with the protagonist a lot. I don't know to what degree the new revamped version of Trigun is like, but if it is anything like the original, it really is a story of like just a very pure, happy-go-lucky person, and the way in which the world refuses to let him kind of exercise this principle that he holds, because everyone has given up on it, sort of. And it's very heart-wrenching the moment that he is forced to make a decision that he never thought that he would have to make.
Here's all I caught.
Oh, I mean, you know me. I don't care for spoilers. As in, I don't care in the sense that feel free to spoil away any sort of media. It'll only compel me more to engage with it. What is this? There must be some mistake. Cause of death, old age. So after watching everything, it seems that Stampede is a prequel, since the finale is the July incident. Wow, well, you've just blown my mind away. That's actually... So I guess, and I guess we're in full spoiler territory here, but that would explain why Vash looks... he certainly looks younger in the new version. So that would connect to that dot. But if that is the case, I know that Wolfwood is part of this new show. I wonder how he's involved with it. Because I believe like the original is actually the first time that they meet, unless I missed something. So I would say Vash was even more pacifist than in the original. Wow. That's a see the thing. Okay, now I really should watch it. And now I gotta find some time to actually make time for that. Oh no, life is so sad when I know that there's so many good things out there. Okay, so Shadow Presence, Attack and Special. What do I want out of life? The Mirror of Night will reveal everything. Dark Regeneration. Oh, see, so I did actually have this one selected. I think this is what you were talking about. Restore some of your hearts when you collect darkness. And I'm actually at max. So clearly I was already trying to do my best with that and not doing very well with it. Greater Reflex. Boiling Blood. What is the opposite of this? Like I said, I don't quite care for the cast. Abyssal Blood. Reduce move, speed, and damage of foes with the stone on them. I don't know that I care for either of these. And then the Infernals. Raise your supply of cast. That one I think is probably useful since every so often I do have to find myself using that. Stygian Soul. So it's a great show for oldies and new people. And see, I think that's a fun idea because now that you mention that, it actually reminds me of the Final Fantasy VII example. Because not only is it a remake, or at least we're led to believe that it's a remake, but actually it's and I guess spoilers for Final Fantasy VII for anyone that is watching, skip ahead 10 seconds. But Final Fantasy VII Remake, I guess, happens after the events of Final Fantasy VII in a sort of way where those events actually happen in a previous cycle of this reality. And it also just reminds me of also just the new Evangelion movies, where there are suggestions that actually, and skip ahead, but the new Evangelion movies, the rebuild of Evangelion is actually happening several cycles of existence past the old Evangelion. It's a nice way not to necessarily break continuity if you're looking for it, but also if you want a fresh start, it's also just a good fresh start. And I like how media is kind of doing that sort of thing. Makes me think about the sorts of things that might also try to repeat themselves. And Stygian Soul, regenerate your cast. For your cast faster by 1% per second. I think Infernal Soul is actually okay. The pockets start with a lot of coin. Golden Touch, gain wealth when you clear an underground region. No, I don't think we need that. Well, thank you very much for the notes on Trigun. Like I said, it'll probably climb higher on my list. But I gotta tell you, one of the things that I've been watching recently, and I don't know if you're aware of it, I feel like you're the type of person that would have probably heard of this. I've been watching Ranking of Kings. It's probably the newest thing that I've been seeing, and it's because a couple of YouTube streamers have recommended it to me. I would have never watched it based on what the animation looks like. It really looks like Shin-chan, like medieval Shin-chan. But it's got so much heart. It's so touching. And it makes me feel good and it makes me feel sad at the same time. A little bit like Mob Psycho. Thick skin, raise your life total 5%. 5 hearts per rank. What's the opposite of this? High confidence. Deal bonus damage when your life total is at 80% of above. I don't think I have that high a confidence. Oh yeah, I've heard the same. Yeah, it's not my style, but it's really good from what I've heard. Yeah, and you know, I'm not gonna suggest that to go out of your way and watch it. I think it's definitely a very particular genre for a very particular taste. If I were to describe it in any sort of way, it would be like an anime version of Game of Thrones with one very innocent character in the middle of the whole thing. And I've only seen like 3 episodes, so I can't say that I've fully made up my mind on it, but it's interesting to say the least. Family favorite. Deal bonus damage for each Olympian. What's the opposite? Privileged status. Deal bonus damage versus foes afflicted by... that seems like a hassle. Olympian favor, of course. Dark foresight. Raise your chance for rewards, including... I think I'll keep Olympian favor. And God's Bride. God's Legacy. Raise your chance to be a duo. Or legendary or duo. I think that's what we're going for afterwards. Fated Authority, what is this? Randomly alter the reward. Why is that good? Why would anybody choose that? Alright. Let's start raising this, I guess. Actually, before we do that, we should probably increase our Infernal Souls. Okay, I mean the animation style, but it is on my list. Yeah, it's actually a very different animation style, and it is, at the very least, at the beginning it was a bit of an eyesore, but it kind of grows on you. Like I said, there's such good animation out there, and so to try to jump into something that you might not necessarily click on at the beginning, it's a very difficult gambit. But I'm glad that at the very least it's on your list. Yeah, so let's add some Infernal Souls. I wonder how high you can actually raise it. I have 500. Oh, and I hit the max. Okay. So let's go ahead and switch this. 1,000. Alright. Well, it'll happen.
Looking good.
And we must always look good. Alright, so we're keeping the Shield of Chaos. I don't think that we've got any more Titan's Blood to increase the power of the aspect of Chaos. So we'll keep it as is. 1 Titan's Blood's away, and I think for the last 30 runs we're exactly at the same point.
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, I think we're good. Let's get out of here.
Bye, everyone.
You're not to speak of that accursed Mount Olympus in this household, do you hear me? Nor shall you invoke the names of its inhabitants.
At last I know the gods more than by name.
Alright, we start off with a Hammer of Daedalus, which doesn't happen very often. So a Bull Rush, 400% damage to armor, which is something that we had on before. Ferocious Guard, this is something that we were offered before. Check this, your special can strike up to 4 additional foes before returning. I like the sound of that, but at the same time it might just delay my shield from coming back, and I do need to block. So I think let's stick with the Bull Rush.
My shield grows stronger. Get out.
Moving on up, as they say.
Do not mess with me right now.
Seems like we're feeling just a bit frustrated. some darkness for our troubles. I feel like every time I traverse through this first world, because it has become a lot simpler due to the boons that I have, it almost feels very familiar and very, how to say, not pleasant but reassuring just to go through these early worlds. Out of the way.
Like that.
Down they go.
Lady Aphrodite.
How many of these nectars do I have? 3. Maybe not worth it. Yeah.
Would you by any chance have room there in your
Certainly
home
don't
for a
disagree
nice
with
gentle
Aphrodite,
blessing
but
from a
certainly
goddess
one
such
of
as me?
my lesser favored deities. Your attack deals more damage and inflicts weak. That sounds good. Special deals more damage and inflicts weak. And the crush shot. Let's go with the rare.
I feel fabulous.
So I think I told this story once a long time ago in the same stream, but one of the things that I used to do when I was a child, and I used to play like really old Nintendo games, was that I played platformers, and I specifically remember playing like the original Ninja Gaiden, and it was a sort of thing where I specifically remember that somewhere in like level 2 was where I would just die, and the reason why I would die is because it was the ice level. Every single game had an ice level back in the day. I don't know why. Just like the same way that every single game had like a sewer level. And what I would used to do, because I found such comfort in the notion of running through the first world very easily, is I would get to world number 2 and I would just reset the game and just start over, simply because I didn't even want to feel the sensation of losing. And to this day, I don't understand why I would do that, but yeah, that's probably prevented me from getting very far in the game. Kind of just one of these fun tidbits. Kids are weird. And we see a chaos gate on the horizon. Jeez. And a centaur heart. I've got thick skin, but a centaur heart. And we're going down into chaos. Gotta feed that morale. Yeah, indeed. So difficult to find that confidence as a youth. And Lord Chaos.
You believe you came into a volition. Both statements can be true. Is that not so?
Certainly one of our favorites, the primordial originator. Let's see, what's sparking today? So for the next 4 encounters, you have 50% move speed. See, you lost me there. In this game's speed is life. For the next 3 encounters, slain foes and toss an Inferno Bomb at you. Afterwards, you gain 1 cast. I don't think I need that. And Addled Eclipse. For the next 4 encounters, each time you cast, you get hit for 4 hearts, but afterwards any darkness and jewels you find are worth 100% more. And I think I'll go with this simply because I rarely use the cast. Let's go with my favorite uncle, Poseidon.
You and me, sneak.
Oh right, this thing just likes to backstab you.
time.
Oh, so you've already heard from Aphrodite, have you, nephew? Understandable. But first things first. Now let me add a little something to all that.
I feel like Poseidon speaks in the same way that I would like to speak if I was ever an uncle. I guess I'm on my way. Alright, your cast damages foes in an area and knocks them away. Your dash damage... Okay, so tidal dash is always a cool move. In hydraulic, your attack and special are stronger the first 10 seconds in an encounter. So, essentially gotta go fast. Like Sonic. Everyone was expecting me to say that. Let's go for those keys. Them keys. It's going way too fast.
Phew.
Not too shabby. Before we move on, let's see if there's any important vases. Oh, there's a fish.
That's a bite. Hellfish.
Not too shabby. Okay. And so it's either gems, a treasure trove, gain 100 more darkness. Probably don't need that. Don't need that in my life. Let's move on. So the idea is to be as aggressive as possible for the first 10 seconds, and then we can be a bit more strategic. But of course, it's all about balancing that aggressiveness with not recklessness. Beautiful. Okay, let's move on. Pizza of Power.
That was from Chaos.
Of course, keeping up that momentum is a little difficult when you've got several rounds of enemies coming your way instead of a single wave. I can't say this Aphrodite boom is sitting well with me.
The boomer from Chaos has an effect. Gods grant me strength.
And so either the Heartbreak Strike, which I don't think so, but the Hydraulic might be better.
Better blessing.
And so it's either Darkness. Gotta love that Gothic guitar. I don't know if it's Gothic. Don't know my music. Just a second here, folks. So Darkness for our troubles. Jeez, guys. Did you all have to come to the same exact spot? break some pots here. Every time I break pots in one of these Hades rooms, I am reminded of playing most of the Legend of Zelda games, where you essentially go into anybody's house and just break pots, all for good measure. Alright, I think we're gonna go for the centaur heart simply because I generally feel comfortable by having 150 as my base HP. Why am I standing on a trap? Gotta destroy the trap dealers. Okay. Beautiful. And so it's either a trip to Charon, or as I like to say, Karen, or a Palm of Power. I don't know that there's anything worthwhile that I can buy at this point, so let's go for the pizza. And I believe this might be the room before the room. Yeah, and so doesn't this look like a pizza? I thought that that's what it was for like the first 50 runs that I did in this game. It's kind of crazy. I can't say that I feel like I've gotten enough boons before reaching this boss, but we'll let it be.
Power of the gods.
Honestly, neither of these are good. The hydraulic might just wears away way too fast. I guess let's go for the Heartbreak Strike. Try to hit more with our basic slash. Alright, and let's hope that it is my favorite sister. Quite the opposite.
Red blood. I'm getting awful sick of seeing your smug face time after time after time.
Have you given any thought to just leaving me alone and going back to wherever it is you came from?
You see, that is exactly what I mean. To think that Megara had to put up with you for I don't know how long.
Whoa. So many traps, seriously. Whoa, hey. Right into that one. Wow. I just ate that. Very much deserved.
Darkness.
And I'm going to say that that was not my greatest moment.
Hey,
but I feel like I did get a few good hits there, which were actually quite satisfying. I think I've gotta just, with Electo at the very least, understand that traps is the name of the game. Alas. Some refreshing beverage for our troubles. Yeah, definitely pepperoni. I miss my cured meats.
Let's see here.
And so we've still got a skull earring. Only 10 more encounters to rank up. I think I'm gonna keep it. Do I want to sell anything?
Boons for coin.
I'm very close to selling the Heartbreak Strike. Gain 63 coins for a blood price, of course. 21 darkness. That's more for less. Gain a random item offered in the Well of Karen. You know, at this point, let's go with Fate.
What do I get?
Skeletal Lore. Is that a good thing? Ensure a fishing point will spawn ahead. Not really what I was looking for. But that's okay, let's go ahead and move on.
Next floor.
Okay. I'm back in Asphodel, and I hear the lure calling to me. There it is.
You're mine.
Anacara Station. In ocean waters, similar creatures serve as easy prey. But not this map called Love and Variety, which tends to be left alone, though some do swim up from the riverbed and serve a companionship. And don't we all? And it is Hermes who waits us up ahead. Here's hoping that at the very least it's either one more dash or simply moving faster. Like I said, speed is life in this game. Okay, I am seeing nobody, which is kind of annoying because that's when I got my boon up. Too many hits. Gotta isolate my foes. Where is it coming from?
There he is.
Alright, friend Hermes.
It's you, boss. That's good. But you're standing still. That's bad. Let's get you up and moving about again. All right?
So a quick reload. Throws drop the cast stones, the bloodstones stuck in them faster. Your attack is just faster. Pretty fun. And flurry cast, hold cast to fire in rapid succession. Faded Persuasion, use whatever icon that means to randomly alter the choices offered here. I don't know what that is, but I don't think I can spend it. Let's just go with my attack is faster.
That's the stuff.
So it's either Poseidon. What is this? You gain up to 50 gems. Don't use those gems that often. Where are my Artemis? Where are my Athenas? There's coin there. Let's go for Poseidon.
Moving on.
go to bed. Sounds good. Thank you very much for joining us today, Namji. You got this. Very much appreciate the kind words. You know as well as I do that I don't, but the thought is always appreciated. Thank you very much for joining stream. Hopefully you have a peaceful rest and an awesome Friday. And if I don't see you soon. And also, everyone out there, please watch Namji stream. She enjoys streaming largely Final Fantasy XIV, though every once in a while she will stream other games. Highly recommend. Your call makes you surge into foes while impervious for 1.2 seconds. That could be it. And more rewards, which is always a plus. Let's go with the call. So either the keystone, the Sethonic key, or nothing else. No, this is actually where I came from. So actually the only choice really is the Sethonic key. Let's go ahead and move on. It almost felt like there was another choice here. Maybe breaking some bases will do something for us. No, that's okay. That is the difficulty of life. We always hope for the best. Don't get too much in return. You can die at any moment. What do you think you will be remembered for? To go see John Wick 4. It was cool. So actually, are you a fan of the John Wick series? I've only seen the first one completely, and I was watching the second one with my SO, and then she's not necessarily the one to watch action movies, so we didn't finish it. I thought it was neat, but then I never went back to the series for one reason or another. But I've always meant to. It seems to be like my jam. Jeez, and only at 17. Here's hoping that I can find some hearts around here. So, either a visit to Charon, check out Zeus. Oh yeah, I ranked them 2, 4, 1, 3. See, and I feel like I didn't give number 2 a fair shot. I felt like it was really high octane action, and I kind of just bailed on it. I did hear, so I like to listen to movie podcasts, and I did hear that number 4 at this point, like as the series has progressed, that it has actually left reality behind. Like number 1 and potentially number 2 were very grounded, whereas like 3 and 4 were a little more cartoony and more stylized, which is actually, I feel, you know, that's not a problem. It's actually fun to see very stylized media. Hence why I love the No More Heroes series. But yeah, I feel like I should go back to them. This is good feedback, and I should probably check out John Wick. It's also kind of amazing that Keanu is essentially pulling like 60 years old at this point, and he's doing some crazy stunts. Like once I reach 60, in a couple of years, I will I would definitely love to be able to do half the things that he does. Yeah, he is definitely great. So Palm of Power, something from Poseidon. We could probably get both. Let's go for both.
Just what I need.
Tempest Strike. Your attack deals more damage and knocks foes away, but it will replace Heartbreak Strike. That could be good. Tidal Dash. And your boons will knock away effect. With knockaway effects will also rupture foes. You know what? Let's go ahead and replace Heartbreak Strike. We certainly didn't
I forget you won't mind.
find any need for it.
One of my boons got stronger.
And Tempest Strike gained 1 level. So nice. Sorry, buddy. I also believe that Donnie Yen is in that movie, and I love most things that Donnie Yen is in. Excuse me. Oh, it's not over. Oh, jeez. Wow. Okay, Scully is activated, which means that I'm not doing well. We're having such trouble with a stone. This reminds me of that drum enemy in Donkey Kong Country 1.
The heat of your surroundings must be difficult to bear, my little sprout. It's fortunate I've just the thing for that.
Please. Mistral Dash. Your dash shoots a gust ahead that inflicts chill. I'm going to go for that just simply because it's epic and the fated choice. Let's go for that.
Cooled me off.
So today was revealed what the lineup for WrestleMania will be. I got day 2 ticket, which for me is good in the sense all the ones in that card I haven't watched live. And there's a Hell in a Cell personally though. Day 1 has a better lineup more my alley. So tell me what would be the WrestleMania match that you're looking forward to the most? I actually haven't followed what the card is like. It's also interesting that it's only been a few years since WrestleMania became 2 days. I think the last one I watched was a 1 day event, and I feel like COVID hit and somehow it became 2 days. It was almost like concurrent. I don't know if one thing led to the other. Please don't tell me it's something involving Logan Paul though. I'm going to say, in I go. This is where our friendship ends. Alright, definitely Dominic versus Rey Mysterio. See, I find that actually very interesting. It's a father-son storyline that's been going on for some time. And of course, Dominic being part of Judgment Day at this point, or at least at least very recently. Now, I thought one of the things that they were advertising though was Where are you guys? Finn Balor versus Edge. At least they've been hyping that up. Finn Balor, Prince Balor being one of my all-time favorites. Can't wait for him to return to Demon Balor someday. Down they go.
Message for me.
And Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins, because Logan is actually a really good ring actor, athletic. And Charlotte versus Rhea. Well, always Charlotte, of course. He will be going demon mode actually for that match. Really? I was not aware. See, I always thought that the demon gimmick was part of his face personality. But once again, I have not been following WWE storylines very well. This is mostly for me reading like random articles on the web.
In the name of Hades.
So this is absolute news to me. Now I feel like I should watch it. Whenever you are hit, you have a chance to dodge automatically, so that's good. Your God Gauge charges up automatically, which is pretty decent. After you dash, you become sturdy. None of these are actually very good. Let's go with greater evasion, I guess. But yeah, that seems like a pretty good set of matches. It should be exciting to watch. And of course the fishing points, not very interesting. Restore some life. I think that we might need that at this point. So it's either a center heart or Charon, but we've already spent coins, so I think it would be quite pointless to go back to Charon. At the very least, back when I was watching WWE, what is it, NXT, I always thought Rhea Ripley was such a solid performer. She's just got this, I mean, obviously the athleticism, but just like the natural charisma to play into whatever role she was playing at the time was always very compelling. A very apt performer. Definitely new generation. She's evolved so much since her humble beginnings. It's a little silly to say humble beginnings. This weekend gotta be one of the best weekends this year. There's so much cool media out and coming out. Well, what else are you consuming other than wrestling? If that's what you mean. So a center heart, and then we go off to fight the Bone Hydra. I gotta say, very light on terms of the boons in this run, which is kind of unfortunate. This is our second run today. UFC and rap music. A lot of albums came out tonight. Well, here's hoping that you're listening to them. Anything that you can recommend to the Ales and Fails universe. Unfortunately, I can't say that I listen to too much rap music unless it somehow breaks through to me.
You don't mind if I call you Lerny from now on, right? I'll take that as a no, not at all thing passing trend.
Always a Bone Hydra. So much variety, and I love the soul they're putting into these songs lately. That's pretty cool though. It's always neat when you can honestly speak to when a piece of media resonates with you in a spiritual way, in an empathic way. It's almost as if you see a reflection of your thoughts in that somebody crystallized into a piece of content. Oh, did I just randomly lag there? I think I did. I love the way you worded that. Well, thank you. I would love to say that is something that I thought on the fly, but it is something that I think about when something vibes with me. How could there be another person or another group of people that felt the same way that I did in that particular instance? It's kind of that feeling that draws you from the notion that maybe you were alone all this time. Which is kind of funny. One of the reasons I tell some of my friends when they ask me why are you streaming, why do you do this, and I say the very pathetic, oh, you know what, I really like playing video games, but I wanted to feel like I wasn't alone. That is really it. And I just felt like, oh, hey, maybe if I play games that I wanted to play, and maybe if I talk about things that I want to talk about, maybe at some point there will be like-minded people. And for the most part, to a certain degree, some of that has happened. It's nice. It's our calling. Yeah, very much agreed. And our debt has been defined once more. Why is it impervious? Is there one more? Am I missing one? Oh yes, I was missing one this entire time. Damage wasted. Experience not so much so. Skull earring is activated, which does not bode well for us. Down it goes. Our deep thoughts tell us what to do. It's up to us to bring it into life or not. Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. I feel like these things kind of just effervesce into our soul. And we read into them, and we think about them, we process them. And how we manifest them is kind of how we prove ourselves to the world. For better or for worse, indeed. Alright, and another pool.
That victory of yours shall be short-lived.
No doubt it will.
What are you, 3 fakes?
Drink up. And so I don't have a lot of coin on me. 8 encounters to increase our movement speed. Let's take it. What's our time now? Okay, so we're about an hour away. I think we're gonna take a quick break here. A quick bio break. First break of the night. Which is surprising because our bladder generally doesn't hold that well. So I will be back in about 5 minutes or so. We'll have one more drink. Something more on tap. But yes, stay tuned. And I probably should have finished that 30 seconds ago. We will be right back. Okay, and we are back. Welcome to the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. I'm your host, Ale Wolf, gentleman streamer, Beer Goggles 21, the excellence of an execution. And welcome back to Thursday night. Maybe it's a Friday already in your time zone. That's okay, it's already Friday night in my time zone. And we are knee deep into Hades. We are in an escape run. I don't know, at this point it's probably like 80 or something like that. And we've been having a pretty good time speaking to some friends of the stream. But like I said, I did want to get something else to drink before I return to other things. And this is something that I've had before on stream. This is from our friends at Shadow Puppet Brewing Company. This one is called Coconati. And so Coconati is a coconut porter. Well, there's two things to unpack there. Number one, what is a coconut? Is it a nut? No, it is just a coconut. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. But number two, let me just put this down. What exactly is a porter? Well, a porter is an ale made of what do you call these? Darker malts. And I'd like to think of what are good examples of darker malts, but I think crystal malts, chocolate malts are considered dark malts. I'm pretty sure that's not their actual name though. But darker malts generally brew and ferment dark. They generally bestow a slightly more maple flavor to the beer that you're tasting, and so they generally tend to brew a little sweeter. It's almost like molasses, really, a hint of molasses if anyone alive is actually remembering of molasses. For some reason, every time I think of molasses, I think of the old Disney cartoon gummy bears. Anyways, besides the point. Every time I talk about porters, somebody asks, well, are porters the same thing as the stouts? They're essentially the same color. Is this the same thing? Ales, please help me out here. I'm in a bind. And I say to that, please go to the emergency room. But I also say the difference between porters and stouts is the fact that porters use darker malts as their base, and that is enough, whereas stouts will actually roast those malts before the brewing process, and that is why there's a very distinct difference between them. So a stout will actually use roasted malts versus a porter, which will generally use unroasted malts. Friend of the stream, In I Go, is here. Welcome back, Beer Goggles 21. Very much appreciate that. I know you understand what I mean. But yeah, Coconati is made by Shadow Puppet, as I mentioned before, which is one of the breweries that is local to me. I haven't visited them recently, probably since before the pandemic, which is kind of sad, but I should definitely make my way back to Shadow Puppet Brewing. Let's go ahead and pour this one, but before we do, let's go ahead and see what Untapped has to say. Untapped being, of course, the final word on beers. It is not the final word on beers, of course. I'm kidding you, folks. Let's go with it. Okay, so solid 8.1% alcohol by volume, a solid presence of toasted coconut layers, well with the robust roasted malt and chocolate notes. Hey, I like that. So coconut and chocolate all in one can. Let's go ahead and pour this guy and see what that's all about. And of course, I've had this one a number of times before. So let's go back over here and let me go get my stein. Of course, friends of the stream will always remember that it is not a requirement, but it is always nicer to drink your beers in terms of coloration. Start with the brighter ones first, simply because the darker ones always have a slightly stronger lingering taste to them, and so you want to drink them in terms of brightness. Start with the brighter ones and then finish out with the darker ones. This is most definitely the last beer that I'll have tonight. Of course, the problem with that particular rationale is the fact that if you're drinking the darker beer in the night, darker beers generally tend to be the ones with the higher alcohol content, and so they're largely good as nightcaps. Does anyone wear a nightcap anymore? I don't know. Tell me on chat if anybody wears a nightcap. And so it is not quite opaque, but it is actually quite opaque. Color more like cola. I got a very strong nose of chocolate. More like cacao. I want to say maybe more like milk chocolate. I think that's good. Maybe like a gentle Milo, if anybody remembers Milo. Bang a nail, dear viewer. And so very creamy. You know, it definitely tastes not. You know, I've never actually bitten into a coconut myself, other than have had coconut shavings, coconut sprinkles, and things like that. And it very much feels like that. There's a certain dryness to the flavor that is very descriptive of like coconut shavings and things of that sort. I think the chocolate is mostly in the aroma, which is nice. I'm actually not the biggest fan of chocolate, other than gasp white chocolate. Please don't sue me. Some very light sweetness. Some very just as light are the bittering notes on that. Not too heavy. I quite enjoy this. Even though it's a dark beer, it's actually got a very, very light body. I would say in terms of thickness, 2.53 at the thickest. Yeah, and quite a nice in terms of the suds, though not too heavy on that. That mouthfeel is conflicted. It doesn't necessarily dance, but it certainly what I like to think about it is like it almost crawls on your tongue as it delivers its flavor. So coconutty, it is something that I've had a number of times. At the very least, in terms of my Untapped, it looks like I've had it 3 times on stream. So yeah, quite delicious if you seek it out. So with all that, let me go ahead and update my ticker. Let me go ahead and enter an Untapped entry, and I will be back to finish off this Hades run. So I'll see you on the other side of this break. Maybe something like 3 minutes or so. Alright, and we are back. Alright, welcome back to the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. Let's get a move on. Enough chatter. Enough tautology. Enough circumlocution. And I think we're about to step into Elysium, which will very likely be our grave. But you know what? Let's make a go for it.
Enough of this place.
Still enjoying a delicious coconati.
Fight.
And it sounds like there's fish awaiting for me. Where is this pond? Brother, I need some girl advice again. Well, shoot. Feel free to fire your question. I will tell you though, I feel like in our interactions, I don't believe that I've actually ever given you any good advice. But I will certainly share my thoughts with you. I caught a clam. Certainly appreciate you always sharing your thoughts and I go.
I'm going to get through all this.
Always good to exercise the old emotional noggin when it comes to these things. And so it's a heart, a center heart, or a hammer of Daedalus. So of course the enemies in Elysium are a lot tougher. They've all got armor, and a lot of the times I've just got to get around their shields, which is a little frustrating. What I end up doing is kind of just running into them and use my dash effects to damage them, which is not necessarily the most efficient way to destroy them. That is what I do. Let's see. During your dash, your special is faster and deals 200% damage. That's pretty cool. Your attack hits twice, but does not knock away foes. Not so great. After your special hits, your next two attacks deal 80% more damage. I think we'll go with that. Our special hits pretty often, so I think that's good. Anything else of interest around here? Seems like these traps don't activate once you've actually beaten the room. I think let's go for darkness. Always darkness. So let's destroy these guards. Reviving another round. I hate the chariots. Destroy these guys. Good. Okay. And we're getting some hearts. So for the last 8 months, I think I haven't had another girl that I like to have some sort of something with. Last girl I was with though, I really liked, or maybe even loved a lot. We went separate ways for now. Okay? I'm assuming there's a part 2 to this. I guess just from that, I wonder why you decided to go on separate ways. If it was something that was decided mutually or if there was something else. I always feel how it's interesting how relationships even work in the first place. People are so different, even though sometimes you think that you are compatible with somebody else. It's just like very punctated spaces of space and time where you kind of find a self-reflection in somebody else. Sorry, I'm kind of looking at something in IRL for just a second. Oh, let's hope that's okay. Alright, and I think we should probably go for coin here. Ah, these baby chariots. The bane of me. I didn't actually know for a fact that I could block traps. So as I was saying earlier, these archers are kind of the bane of me in this Elysium. Simply because it's always the case that I'm fighting something, and then all of a sudden I discover that someone is shooting at me from afar. Okay, some nice coin.
I'll just take that.
So it's Artemis, it's Demeter, and nothing else over here. Let's go with Artemis. Let's woo her. Before we do that though, okay, I like online because you know it's easier and you knock a lot of the doors down to make way for something. In person, it's high risk, high reward most of the time. Yeah, I definitely feel like there's a lot less to risk when you're simply speaking online. You're essentially showing your best self. It's kind of a very controlled presentation of who you are. And you know, not to say that I've been on the field in any sort of way recently, but I would imagine that if I had to go back out there, that would make the most sense and it would be the most approachable, at least as a first few steps, versus, you know, just meeting somebody outright and trying to talk to them and trying to show them who you, the best version of yourself. Because I feel like that's what we're doing when we're first trying to meet somebody, right? We're trying to first like show who our best selves are, and if that person is vested into that particular individual, then, you know, maybe you can show a little bit of the crazy, which we all have. Okay, but I know it can be easy to get girls. The question is to get them in bed is another story. I've only done that once, and the rest has been online, and there's been a lot online. Also, I guess my last message didn't go through, so I'm gonna copy and paste. Yeah, I guess it didn't. Let's see. But the thing is, I focused on myself within that time, and now I'm ready. I feel I look good for the most part. Got my demons under control, but I used dating apps a lot. Been pretty good to me until some of those girls got bitter and reported me, got banned, made new accounts, and I had some success, then it went dark. Thought I got blacklisted, so I switched to guys, see if I got guy match, which I did a lot then. I'm thinking, how is it I feel my best been my best and no girl even to just F a relationship come by. Wow. Um, that's definitely a lot to dig in right there. Um, I'm sorry that how to say you got reported. Like I mentioned before, I don't have too much experience myself online, but I'm sure that there's trigger warnings that people will react to, uh, and I'm sorry to hear that perhaps you fell victim to some of these particular alerts. Appreciate your time for meeting and giving me your take. Yeah, I guess, like I said, I'm kind of just trying to, put myself in your situation because, I think we've spoken a bit, and though I might not, how to say, know you personally in that sense, I think I understand where you're coming from, and I don't. At the very least, I'm trying my best to understand what you're going through. Um, yeah, I don't know that I've got any particular quote unquote advice, and I will say once again that I'm not the greatest person in terms of relationship advice. I don't know that anybody's come to me and said, you know what, Ailes, based on the advice that you've given me, I was able to like find my life partner or anything like that. Um, but I do like to think that I do give thoughts to some of these responses. The few times that they've been presented to me, it. I will say this: every single time two people come together, it is incredibly rare. It is kind of silly. I'm one of these people that have very old-fashioned views, and it is unfortunate because they're old-fashioned. But the way that I see it, uh, there is probably at any given point in time one other person that connects with you the most living on this planet. And you know what? They might be your next door neighbor, or they might be living on the other side of the world, and you're never gonna know. But then, other than that, there's a whole bunch of people that match with you to a certain degree, and the probability of any of those people connecting with you in any sort of meaningful way is so rare. And so, once again, I hate to say this, but in order to find the person that you're looking for, in order to find that kindred spirit that perhaps matches your sensibilities and reflects you in some meaningful way, it's gonna take time. And once again, I hate to say this, but there is a very small chance, there's a very tiny chance that in your attempt to find this person, you might not find them. And that's sad, but it is true. Um, but you know what? That chance goes down to zero if you never try. So please keep trying. Please keep trying to find that person. Um, and that's honestly the best I can give you. I would love to give you slightly more detailed advice, but yeah, I'm a little lacking in terms of how to respond. And I am a little bit lacking in terms of how to play this game. That is the heart of the Tales history. I hate these butterfly rooms. They've got like this little recess in the middle that you can't actually walk into, you have to dash into. Of course, at this point, I'm actually quite intoxicated, for better or for worse. I agree. I like that. I appreciate the kind thoughts, and I go, like I said, I don't suggest that I am in any sort of way an expert in these matters. I got lucky exactly once. So, it is, at the very least, good to know that there's at least one other person out there that might get something out of the nonsense that I'm spewing out there. And down I go, jeez. There's no escape. Okay, because when I used to have girls I was compatible with, sexually or mentally, I used to think it felt so surreal. Like it wasn't supposed to be like WTF. And you know, I don't know that that's necessarily, I don't know that that's necessarily something that should shock or surprise you. It should be like a almost like a great fortune. Yes, but once again, you are not alone in this world, and there's other people like yourself. So you know, don't be afraid to continue on the search, and it might be tomorrow, and it might be in 10 years. But you know what? It's once you find that connection, it makes all the difference. And always hydrate, folks. Ales and Fails Twitch stream promotes the drinking of fun alcohols, but at the same time, please drink your waters.
What's the good word?
What have I done to deserve this?
It's fun watching the pool of sticks, you know? The ripples in the blood and everything, and sometimes somebody pops out of there like you. Half staff and guests of honor, no one else. I sign them in and help make sure they have a pleasant stay.
Well, sign me in then.
Always with the quips. Hypnos.
So tell me something, Father, if you please, since we're more candid lately in regard to matters of my birthright here and all. Did you and Mother, how to put this, any brothers or sisters I should know about?
Heavy questions.
I told you never to invoke her here. Be thankful that you have no blasted kin. You've such weak blood and such a temperament. Why then would you think I'd risk another such as you?
Rough fatherly talk. Am I not familiar with it?
Enough. It's just not all such things occur as planned, as I am told, from the tales of your brothers and so forth.
Blast my brothers and blast you as well. All those who know me know I have no heir. You could not rise to the occasion if you tried. And there is no one else. You've only me. And I have only you.
And there is both bitterness and
heartwarming
beauty in that statement.
The much-feared Cerberus licks endlessly at something on the floor.
But my philosophy is with all the girls I've gone with, they came to me, I didn't try hard, I just showed my face and won them over with my charisma and everything else that is cool about me. And that's nifty, right? You were able to show this aspect of yourself, and they were able to connect with that, latch onto it, and love you for it. And that's amazing. I'm glad that you had those experiences. It's always good to know when you have certain traits to call your fortes, your strong points, things that you can rely upon.
Has your relationship with Nyx been lately, Dusa?
It might not necessarily be all that you are, but
you getting on okay?
It's things that you can flex, you know? Things that you can draw people in before you show them the rest of who you are, before you are comfortable into showing them the rest of who you are.
Oh, Miss Nyx? I'll do whatever she says. Why? Did she say something about me? She did. Oh, why would you be asking otherwise? Oh no, am I losing my job?
Hey, no, it's not like that. It's just a feeling that I've had from glimpses of the interactions that I've seen between you two. I haven't always got along with Nyx, but I know she cares deeply about this house and everyone in it.
nice to know. She cares about my work performance, that's for very sure. And I'm doing everything I can to live up to and exceed her expectations. Tell her that.
I'll do so. Ever the duty
I may
bound.
not use those exact words.
Hydrating as I type. Well, good. Like I said, I don't recommend anyone drink as much as I do. Water is very good. It equilibrates us. I like that. If you ever need advice and it's within my reach, I'll give you a good answer or try it regardless. And I appreciate that.
You sing beautifully, mate. If only Eurydice could hear you singing this right now.
I don't know that I need any particular advice right now. I am at a very stable. I'm not gonna say stable. I always feel like the stage in which I find myself in life always provides its own challenges, and I am currently challenged, but I am not in. I don't want to put it this way, but I am not in any sort of chaotic form or anything like that. And to be perfectly honest with you, if I was, there would be a very little chance of me streaming. I don't know that I've ever like felt down or like depressed, and I've decided to just go on streaming. I almost feel like that's probably one of the things that I would cut out. But maybe I've never actually tried that. I know that some people who stream actually suggest that they stream because they like to share their thoughts. And I've always found that very curious. So maybe I should try that someday. So I appreciate that, Inigo.
Oh, thanks for the sentiment, my friend. It's just, when I sing this song of hers, I've this feeling where my heart once was that, well, perhaps she can.
I will say though, I do drink on stream, and drinking of course makes me feel buzzed, and I am kind of the sad buzzed person, so
Alas,
maybe
you
someday.
have seen much of Hypnos lately, child. I hope you find his disposition somewhat tolerable. Please tell me plain if this is not the case.
Oh, he's not so bad, Nix. Be proud of your sleepy, cheerful son. Who else among us is able to muster that kind of enthusiasm?
Nix is always very reassuring. And let's turn in some fish for our troubles.
Do what you will with these, my good chef.
Nice, and more nectar. It's funny you say that. I saw this girl who I knew needed help, and she's so pretty but so flawed. I would easy, you know. But she went ahead and streamed one day and was silent watching cartoons and only community by writing sticky notes. I actually enjoyed her stream that way. Her voice and what she says actually hurts my head. She has a negative vibe to her, even though she isn't saying weird things. And that's interesting, you know, because I feel like there's so many ways in which we express ourselves, whether we speak or whether we just watch things. The way in which we carry ourselves actually says a lot of the way in which we feel. I don't know that there's many people who are able to exist or like emote without in some way like presenting how they feel at that particular moment. And it's about reading that body language. But yeah, it's you know, not everybody expresses themselves in the same way, and I feel like I made an overcommitment by suggesting that there are streamers who will use their stream as therapy. Of course, we're going with the Shield of Chaos, the aspect of chaos, so no need to change anything here. Did we actually get that last skull earring? Actually, one more encounter to rank this up. So one of the life lessons John Wick 4 taught me was how you do anything is how you do everything. It's kind of neat. I can see that. It's almost like an what is the word? What's the word that Sherlock Holmes uses? Not introspection, extrospection. So essentially, it is the minor example reveals the larger whole, in the sense that if you see a small bit of something, it is representative of the larger pie. There's a very specific word for it, and unfortunately I'm a little too buzzed to actually remember what that was called, but I'm assuming that that's what that notion was.
Boy, nephew, it's excellent to see you once again and in good spirits still. Then come, let's make some waves.
Alright, so we've got the Tempest Strike, which obviously attack damage is 30% more, special deals more damage, and knocks foes away, which seems like a fun attack. And then the cast. Let's go for the epic. Indeed, the Ails and Fails Switch stream is not known for its sobriety, as you can imagine. People tell me every once in a while when I'm out and about, which is not often,
They're finished.
and they're quote-unquote impressed by how well I can handle myself after drinking, which is generally like a backhanded compliment, but you know what, that's okay. I love them because they spend time with me, and I think to myself, this is not something that I learned. I feel like this is actually how I've always been, kind of just quiet. There's very little things that I would do intoxicated that I wouldn't do sober. Alright, let's go for Demeter here. They'll be crazy, even though you try to compose yourself. I can only imagine when you're drunk. Yeah, like I said, I don't know that it's too different, but you know what? I can't say that I've necessarily been there myself every time. People are probably like, what's this guy talking
You
about?
live within the bosom of the earth and know its warmth. But there is no such warmth up here, young Zagreus. You truly wish to feel the bitter cold of the outside. Then here.
Thank you, Lady Demeter. So attack is strong and inflicts chill. That's an epic one, so very likely gonna choose that. And then Nourish Soul. Any heart effects are more potent. Restore 53 hearts right now. It should be useful. Let's go for the epic though.
It's freezing.
Why was this game critically acclaimed, by the way? It's the story because gameplay looks pretty standard. Well, I mean, I do enjoy it. It is a roguelike, and I don't know how familiar you are with those games, but essentially it is the sort of thing where you play the game, you lose, and you start over from the beginning. Hades is nice in the sense that you do get some progression, you do get some collectibles every time you lose, and you get a little bit stronger every time you start. And so every consecutive run, it's a little easier. In terms of why it is critically acclaimed, I guess people do put a lot of emphasis into the storyline. You are trying to escape, and apparently Hades and your mother were something very important back in the day, and that slowly reveals as you're playing. At this point, I'm in like the 80th escape attempt, so a lot of that storyline is actually not visualized here, but in the first 20 runs or so, you do get to see a lot of the little cutscenes and things like this. And I say cutscenes very, very lightly, suggesting that there was actually cutscenes. You do get a lot of dialogue options. You know, if it's ever on sale, I would certainly recommend you getting it to experience those first few chapters. But you know, I don't know that there's too much more than that. I appreciate it. I appreciate it for what it is. I feel like I'm getting better with every run, and it makes me feel accomplished in an interesting sort of way. You could really boil it down to you just like hacking away at enemies, and that's fine. But there is like a very satisfying sense of you are getting better with every attempt. And you know, if you've only ever watched my stream, the fact is that I'm only using the one weapon. There's actually 6 different weapons that you can use in this game, and every one of those weapons can actually be modified, and I've only ever used the one weapon with the one modification. So I am showing you a very tiny window of a huge door. This game is difficult. So I can tell you right now that I've got friends that beat it in like 50 runs or less. I'm going to say that the fact that I haven't beaten it yet is because number 1, I only play this game every other week, and number 2, I am bad at games. So so there's that. So take that for what you will.
Just in time.
Gotta get these hefty boys. Love those hefty boys. Alright. Into Tartness. And some coin for our troubles. Either darkness, or I guess it is only darkness. Darkness awaits. Memento Mori. And a Chaos Gates up ahead. Where's the last of them? Oh, I see. Down they go. Chaos Gates opens. We jump in.
Might as well. Master Chaos, I've returned.
Temperature has reached you, hasn't she? She once was full of warmth, you know. But lately, as I understand, she is more prone to taking it away.
And so we've got the Flayed Lounge. Next 4 encounters, each time you special, you get hit 4. Abyssal Soul for the next 4 encounters, take plus 306 damage from traps, but then you get 38 more hearts. Addle Grasp. Each time you cast, you get hit for 3, but afterwards you get 1 more Bloodstone. Okay. I think what makes the most sense is this one, so don't use this special. So if you could react to one song I've been listening to heavy today, that would be cool. It just came out today. I think it would be thought-provoking to you, maybe. You are free to name it. I will probably listen to it after stream and let you know what I think about it. But certainly feel free to share. But that's very cool that you know, a song resonated with you. It's certainly been a while since I felt like the message of a song actually vibe with me. And that's not a bad thing. Sometimes the messages that I look for are actually very specific. I also just happen to resonate with very basic messages. Oh, I forgot that I get hit every time I use a special. Your special deals 50 damage to foes around you when you catch it. And your attack hits twice, but does not knock foes away. And after blocking a foe, gain 20% damage and move speed for 10 seconds. I do like to guard.
Should work.
And so it's Larry June's Margie's Candy House. Okay, I'll make a note. I'll write that down and listen to it. And I'll let you know what I think. Very much appreciate the share, Inigo. I remember back in the day when, probably up until college, I was very reluctant to listen to music.
Centaur strength.
And it's kind of weird. I guess really the way in which I dabbled with it was mostly through video games. And I used to say nonsense like, oh, I will not listen to any music other than video game music. And that kind of changed back in, got away, the one that got away. That kind of changed in college. I was able to actually listen to contemporary artists. But specifically, I remember that one of the main ways in which I was able to, find my footing in terms of music was simply by talking with one of my closer friends that I met then. And such as it is always the case that encountering somebody will open doorways to things that you haven't ever entertained in the past. Okay, I don't think I need any of these right now. Random item from the Well of Charon. Sure.
What do I get?
A Yard of Ariadne. What is that? The next boon you find is upgraded rarity. Alright. Let's go for Artemis. Alright, no specials allowed. Backstab.
That's what you get.
Voila.
In your honor, Lady Artemis. Your mighty blessings have helped me through so many trials now, and I always welcome your level-headed presence here.
Look, I like being worshipped just as much as anybody, Zagreus, though bear in mind that you can always leave the worship of me to the forest nymphs, all right?
I have been turned away. Alright, let's see what this is like. Alright, so we are 6 hearts in. Maybe one more will do the trick. Lord Hades and the Lady Artemis have certain traits in common, I suppose. Each solitary and committed to their work. If only my Lord Hades understood that someone such as Artemis could be someone to confide in, rather than to resent along with all the others on Olympus.
So even Demeter's become involved in this. Didn't think she would, though you'll be glad she did. Provided you stay on her warm and fuzzy side, of course. Working on that myself.
It's time for a duel. Close but no cigar. Dash strike is more damage, which is good. But I do want her aid.
I'll make every strike count.
Go ahead, some coin here.
Lucky find.
Okay, and I think we make it to the Hydra and we call it.
Escape.
Survival 45 seconds. Oh, good. I don't know that I could have lasted longer with that. Okay, let's move on for some gems. So this is the room before the room.
Nice.
Thank goodness for the fountain. I guess let's go for Charon. This is the room for the room. Wow. How long will this vessel hold out? Let's go with Hermes.
Thank you, mate.
So more wealth, second wind after using calm. Smooth sea for 10 seconds. And God Gauge charges up automatically. Let's go for a quick favor. Would be my favorite.
Sorry I'm late.
You ready for me, Zagreus?
trick here is to damage her even though she's firing off these satellite attacks to you. Got it for me.
Gotcha that time, Meg.
I guess I should be thankful. And I guess I am. Alright, and I think this is it. Ah, that's been a good flex.
Megara seems to be having difficulties.
Alright. Let's go ahead and quit there. And let's go back to intermission. Okay. And I think we're good. So, thank you everyone for staying up and watching the Ales and Veils Twitch stream. I think we did some good work here. I think we'll pick this up next time, and I'm sure that we will beat the game. I'm not sure of that actually. But this was a good run. I think it taught us a few things in terms of the bull rush, in terms of the flying shields. If you're into this sort of thing, tune in tomorrow. I've actually got the bonus run tomorrow with Donkey Kong Country at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and then at around this time I'll be playing Super Metroid. So very retro games, almost like a Retro Friday sort of things. But if you're not, I wish you a wonderful rest of your weekend. I will be back with Hades in 2 weeks, as tends to be my streaming cycles. And yeah, for all of those of you out there, stay thirsty, Elkin. We'll see you again. And of course, many thanks to friends of the stream, and I will certainly listen to this piece of music and let you know what I think. Have a great night, and stay thirsty. I already said that. See, this is a problem with drinking. Drink responsibly, folks. We'll see you again.